Welcome, everyone. It's Curtis, and I'm so excited to talk with you a little bit about writing your scripts and being the director of your own life. And we all have old scripts, we all have new scripts that I want to help you write. But also, I want you to think about determine the role that you're playing in your life and where did that come from. So let's blast off. Here we go. It's time for us to rewrite some scripts together. Well, hello and welcome to the next 24 hours. You're in the right place, but this series is actually going to be Life at Performance Level, and this is going to be based on my best-selling book, Life at Performance Level, and my keynote speech. So I want you to really jump into this content, feel great about it, because I'm going to give you all the tools you need to take your life to a higher level of performance. Get ready to live the dream. First off, I want you to really think about who you are, standing there, listening, driving in your car, working out, whatever it is that you're doing, all of the things that happened in your past, all of the things that have developed through your life experience to make you the person you are today. Some you really went after. I wanted to get a degree in this. I wanted to be able to learn the rules and the guidelines to play golf in the right way and work on my swing. Other things kind of over time just slowly appeared, like that extra 15 pounds. You didn't plan on, hey, I want to gain 15 pounds over the next 6 years. That'd be crazy awesome. No. It kind of just magically showed up one day. So I want you to think about scripting, and scripting is the way for you to make a conscious choice to change the trajectory of whatever it is in your life, relationships, your health, your willingness to try new things, the willingness to go back and take something you were passionate about 15, 20, 50 years ago and revisit it and start fresh. Those are all scripts, and we have an internal monologue that is always going on in our life. So when we see something or we feel something, this monologue tells us, based on our past, rather this is something that's doable, rather this is something that is not doable, rather not this is something you want to put time into, rather not you want to invest emotionally into that. So I'll give you a really quick example of that. In my program, Life at Performance Level, I ask somebody from the audience to come on up and join me on the stage. First, I make sure I say, do you know how to juggle 3 balls? And they have to say no. So it has to be a skill that they don't currently have. And I bring them up on the stage and I say, listen, so here's the deal. I'm going to ask you a yes or no question. Now remember, think about scripting. That's what I'm really keying off on this. So I'm going to ask you a yes or no question, and I want you to just answer that question, but I want you to say it with passion. Whatever it is, I want you to really believe the answer yes or no. And then I say this. I am going to teach you how to juggle 3 balls right here, right now, guaranteed. Do you believe me? Half the people say yes, half the people say no. So the scripting part of this, the reason I'm pointing this out is I want you to understand, as soon as they answer the question, I go to the audience and I say, so here's my question. I just told this person I'm going to teach them how to juggle guaranteed, and they said no. Is it going to be easier or harder for me to teach that person how to juggle based on their response? No. So their script in their head is, listen, I'm 47 years old. I tried to learn how to juggle in the 5th grade. I may have tried to do it when I was 30. And you know what? There's no way. That's a skill that I cannot achieve. So when I say, I'm going to teach you right here, right now, do you believe me? Come on, you can do it. They say no. I want you to understand this. When you say no, then it doesn't matter how much time I spend with you. It doesn't matter if I give you all the resources, which means I give you the juggling balls. It doesn't matter if I give you my 40 years of experience with juggling. It doesn't matter that I can juggle 5 balls, so I'm better than average, and I've taught literally tens of thousands of people how to juggle. None of that matters because you're already making the decision in your own mind through your limiting belief, your old script, that you cannot juggle, and it doesn't matter what outside forces in the world there are. That's not obtainable. So before I give that person any of those resources, I have to get them to yes first. And the point of this, it's so important as you're listening, all the things you say no to in your internal monologue that goes on every day, you have to stop saying no to your life. Stop saying no to new opportunities. Stop saying no to alternate futures because of your limiting beliefs from the past. So then I have to give that person more information. I say, listen, I've taught thousands of people how to juggle. I guarantee I've never brought someone on stage and not accomplished it. You're going to be able to do it. Do you believe me? And the audience goes, yes. And the person finally says, yes, I do. And then I literally take them step by step, give them the juggling balls, the resources, give them my knowledge, give them the passion by screaming in their face, you can do it, things like that. And every single person learns how to juggle 3 balls live in front of the audience. They go back and sit down. And I say, it's great that person learned how to juggle, but what's more important, and the point of this whole time together on this podcast today, and that is they rewrote a script that they've been carrying their entire life. And you have scripts that people have told you cannot achieve. And it doesn't mean they don't love you, and it doesn't mean they're not your friends. It just means they're wrong. You got to get that in your head. They are wrong. You can rewrite your scripts. You can design the future that you really want. You can become the person you always wanted to be, but you have to believe it internally first. Then we're going to talk about actualizing that and the way to do that in your real life. So the person did learn to juggle, but more importantly, when they walked in that morning, if you said, hey, Tom, hey, Kathy, do you know how to juggle? They just said no. But when they walk out of the room in my session and somebody says, do you know how to juggle? They hit their chest and they say, 4 tosses. And they feel amazing because they are able to do something they didn't think they could. Now let's take that to your real life. Do you believe you can be a millionaire? Do you believe you could write a book? Do you believe you deserve to be in the most amazing relationships with people that are so excited that you're in the room when you're in the room? Do you believe that you can get in shape? Listen, I could go on and on and on. First, you have to get to, yes, I do believe I could be a millionaire. Yes, I do believe I can have a bigger impact on the world. Yes, I do believe I can help people in need by giving more. But first, I have to feel comfortable with giving to myself. And that's something that this is so important as we go through this journey together. You're going to take time to work on you so then you can work on making other people in the world's life better. So that's called scripting. What are your scripts and where do they come from? And what scripts do you need to rewrite to move forward and stop rereading old scripts? First, it's get to yes. Secondly, it's setting the goal. Everybody has dreams. The difference between a dream and a goal, dreams are a dime a dozen. Goals means you have a deadline. If you want your dreams to become a reality, there has to be a deadline. I am going to learn how to X by this date. I am going to take a class by this date. I'm going to go sit in a Porsche because I want to buy one day and I want to know it's a real thing. And some people somewhere are buying them. I don't know how, but they are. Make it a reality. Lastly, you have to get really good at Simon Says. What does that mean? Well, Simon Says we talk about being able to respond in the way you choose. And if you want to rewrite your scripts and you want to change and you want to grow and you want to live the dream in a deep way, you can't just keep reacting the way you do right now. So Simon Says teaches you to stop and think about what you're going to do with your body and say with your mouth before you do it in your real life. That's why in the last podcast, I asked you to rewrite a script, and that is saying, hey, how you doing? I'm living the dream. That's about stopping and thinking before you act. So that's about you taking control of the future rather than the future constantly bombarding you and you just reacting to the world around you. Our time on this session is almost, gone, but I had to let you know that there's another part of that that's so important, and that is you determining your role. You taking ownership of who you are, what you bring, and if you have some things that you're not feeling that great about, go take the time to work on those. So here's a little thing I want you to think about. I want you to think about your mom. I want you to think about your brother. I want you to think about somebody you work with. I want you to think about somebody you're in a relationship with. And I literally am going to pause because I want you to say their name out loud. Pick one of those people, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then I want you to say their name out loud. Here we go. 1, think about them. Get a picture in your head of who they are. 2, 3. Now, I want you to reflect on this. Every single person you just thought of, they do the exact same thing and go through the same mental exercise every single time they hear your name. Every single time they hear your name, they have an emotional response. They have a mental picture that they see. And I want you to think deeply on this. Is it the picture you want them to have? Is it who you hope they see? More importantly, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say your own name and I want you to think about what you see. I do this a lot with big brands because everybody that works on a big brand are so close to it that when they hear the word Nike or they hear the word Crocs or they hear the word whatever it is, they have an internal feeling and a vision of what that is. But oftentimes it's very different than the customer. Oftentimes it's very different than the consumer. I want you to think of yourself in that same way. What is it that embodies your name and what do you bring to the table every day? And what are the things you might need to change in order to have people's vision and thoughts and actions when they hear that name change as well? So that's really taking ownership and determining the role that you get to play in your real life every single day. So we talked about scripting. We talked about the role that you play in your life. You're the star, be the star, because you can't give away what you don't already own. And now we're going to get into the 24-hour challenge. How are we going to take this information and actually go back and apply it into our real life? Here we go. All right, here we go. My favorite part of this podcast, it's called the 24-hour challenge. I want you to stand in front of the mirror tonight before you go to bed, and I want you to say your name 5 times. And I want you to say it, Curtis Zimmerman, and then just let it lie there. Let it just lie there for a minute. Take another deep breath. Say your name again. And then one last time, this time I want you to do it in a lower voice, like somebody that really cares about you, somebody that's deeply invested in you as a person. Curtis Zimmerman, feel the way that feels when you say your own name. Then I don't want you to overthink it. I want you to go to bed, do your normal ritual, whatever that is. But the next morning, right? This is the next 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I want you to get up and I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to just feel alive, feel like you're living the dream. And I want you to, again, say your name 3 times and think about scripting. Think about who you are and who you want to be and what you want to go give the world today. I want you to do that, and I think it's going to have kind of a big impact on the day you're going to have today. Go out, live your dream, but more importantly, fully invest in what you bring every day. Hey everybody, I wanted to thank you so much for listening, and I have a workbook that is all about script writing. It's how to write a new script. It's normally $15 on my website. I want to offer it to you today for free. Just go to curtiszimmerman.com/new script, and you'll be able to download that as a free gift. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you keep listening to the next 24 hours.